What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Locked In Baseball Podcast. I'm William Locken. Joining me on this fine Friday morning, the final Friday morning of the regular season, is Luis Barranco. Luis, we both wore black today. That was not planned, but I do feel like that is the vibe for some teams this weekend.
Potentially, but it's the final week of the season. Playoffs are around the corner. Yeah.
All right, you got something going on today. We're all excited. Final weekend of the regular season.
Yeah.
Okay. Good Lord. Playoffs are on the horizon. We got so much to play for this weekend. Tiebreaker scenarios, American League East, American League Wild Card, American League Central, National League Wild Card, MVP race in the American League up for grabs. I don't think anything that happens this weekend is going to take people off their position for that one. But nonetheless, there's a lot to watch for this weekend. We are excited. This is one of the best sports weekends that I can remember. We got Ryder Cup, which is always electric, an unbelievable college football slate, a bunch of top 25 matchups. We have a crazy final weekend of the Major League Baseball regular season. We have, of course, the regular run-of-the-mill NFL slate. And I think if you're into it, there's preseason hockey going on. NBA, maybe preseason kicks off soon too. So there is
Media day started.
Media days, soccer if you're into that. Obviously, we are focused on the baseball, but it is a crazy sports weekend for those that celebrate. So if you got a wedding this weekend, maybe just skip it. If it's your own wedding, you can just skip it, or have your phone on watching the sports, because this is just generational this weekend.
Yeah.
Okay. We need a drop or something like Luis button.
Yeah. But,
all right, I think people are going to turn the thing off now.
No, but I like to thank my friends that are getting married next weekend, that they're not getting married this weekend, and that it's also a Friday wedding. So I will not miss any sports next weekend. Could possibly miss a playoff game potentially on Friday night, but Saturday, I will be on a plane the whole day because I will be flying back from California. So, American Airlines will be taking my bank account money for that Wi-Fi because I will be flying back around 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I will not be home till midnight. So, hey, computer's going to be on charge. It will be ready to go. Might have the phone charging to have dual screen. Might have to ask the person next to me to borrow their screen because it's gonna be a weekend, my guy. So a lot of games this weekend, a lot of good baseball. I'm excited. It's the best time of the year. Sports equinox is up here. Fall officially started on Monday, so get your pumpkin spice lattes. Matcha's out. Pumpkin spice lattes are in. Things we're subscribing to this fall are pumpkin spice lattes, playoff baseball, half zips from half zips, pullovers. What else is in? Birkenstocks are in, home runs, MVP races, and college football. So let's get it going today. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Again, Locked In Baseball Podcast, Locked In Sports on YouTube. So hit subscribe. Trying to hit more than 150 subscribers for the season. Trying to get
we got 161. We're trying to get 200.
200 times 200, 2 Bills, 2 Ben Franks. What else? Instagram. Subscribe to us on Instagram as well. Subscribe to us on Twitter /X. Again, on TikTok. Clips are going crazy. We're really putting some inflammatory takes that we do believe in. These aren't takes that we don't not believe in. Again, big time out here in baseball. You got the 2 playoff races. You got good college football. The world is healing, my guy. I would like to say the world is healing. So let's get into baseball. So as we always do the Yankees week in review. This week, the William will be reviewing the week that was for the New York Yankees, as we always do on this podcast. This week, the New York Yankees faced off against the Chicago White Sox, in which the New York Yankees got the 3-game sweep. The Yankees got the 3-2 victory on Tuesday off of Luis Gil pitching 6 strong, 2 earned. Walk-off hit from José Caballero. They scored 2 in the ninth. Electric scenes in the Bronx. They won Wednesday 8-1. Max Fried ended his first full Yankee season with a career high 19 wins, 30 in 32 starts, 195 innings pitched, 189 strikeouts, 19-5 record, 2.86 ERA. 19 wins are the most wins by a Yankee in the past 15 years. Third most in his first season by the club during the expansion era since 1961, trailing Catfish Hunter with 23 wins in 1975 and 21 wins by Tommy John in 1979. Judge hit 2 homers, getting the homer 51. If you want to put an asterisk on that, we can put homer 52. Fourth time in MLB history where 4 players have hit for 50-plus home runs. 4 different players have hit for 50-plus home runs. Ruth, McGuire, Sosa, and Judge's 46th career multi-homer game, which ties Mickey Mantle for second most in Yankees history. And then yesterday, you had the Yankees win 5-3. Carlos Rodón went 6 strong, 3 earned, 5 strikeouts, setting a career high this year and his third full Yankee season, correct? Or second full? Third full Yankee season. Career highs in 18 wins, 33 starts, 195 and 1/3 innings pitched, reaching more than 200 Ks with 203 Ks for his second time in his career. Stanton with an RBI double in the 5th, making it 4-3 Yankees, and then Wells with the RBI double in the 7th, making it 5-3. Bednar got the save. Again, the pen's been ridiculous this week. On Monday, they went 3 strong, 1 hit, 2 strikeouts by Cruz, Hill, and Weaver. And the pen last night, 3 strong, 1 hit, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts by Weaver, Williams, and Bednar. Judge had his 36th intentional walk of the season, which is an AL record, passing Ted Williams, who had 34 in 1957. First tracked in 1955. Barry Bonds has the all-time record with 120 in 2002. William, all-around good week from the boys. Vibes are high. I feel like New York is starting to feel a little – you're feeling that little tingle inside of you, trying to feel that your body's tingling in regards to this team. It seems like they're getting it together. Man, oh, man, José Caballero, what a guy. Want to bring this up before we do the whole review with you. But for José Caballero, can we talk about what a great acquisition he's been for the New York Yankees? Like, I feel like the team, ever since him joining the ball club, he has been the single most important trade deadline pickup for the Yankees. Again, he shored up the outfield in times for Judge's injury when they'd have had to play Stanton out there. He shored up the middle infield with Volpe, not playing up to par. Like, talk about it. I mean, what a guy.
Yeah, I mean, looking at his numbers right now, since coming over to the Yankees, he's played 37 games, hitting a 284 batting average with a 141 OPS plus, an 866 OPS. Those numbers are up substantially from his season numbers with Tampa Bay, where he played 86 games and hit 226 with an 80 OPS plus and a 638 OPS. He's hit 3 home runs with the Yankees. He only hit 2 home runs with the Rays this season. So yeah, those numbers are crazy looking at what we've seen from him in Tampa this year. I don't think even the Yankees probably thought they were going to get that level of production. They thought they were just going to get like a guy that can come in and steal some bases. But yeah, he has been huge for this team. Very versatile defensively. Boone likes to play him as that kind of 10th guy off the bench because he can fill in so many places. He has been very valuable. Obviously, he had the walk-off single on Tuesday night against the White Sox, which was in a huge spot. The game was still tied at that point. He was battling. I think it was like an 8-9 pitch at bat, and he got the single, little bloop single. Michael A. Taylor might need to be investigated for not diving after that ball. But
check the FanDuel, check the family FanDuel or the family accounts, my guy.
Feel like that was a catchable ball for him, but we'll take it. And yeah, he's been extremely valuable. A lot of fun to watch. Plays solid defense as well. Obviously, got to mention that. I don't know if he's going to be the everyday guy in the playoffs, but I do think like it's just it speaks to how having good talent around you in the lineup can improve your play. I mean, now you can also say that and then point to Ryan McMahon, a guy that's really been struggling for the Yankees since coming over. Offensively, he's been great defensively. But yeah, Caballero has been a welcome addition.
But let's stop looking at it numbers and analytically. I want to see, how do you feel as a Yankee fan? I want to hear the Yankee fan. I don't want to hear the level-headed Yankee fan. I want to see the delusional William heading into the postseason, truly deluded. I mean, how do you feel about José Caballero? I mean, positive DRS and out above average. Like, you have to feel good about it. You know, he gives that grit. Like, I bet you, like, you embody. Like, if there's like a player that New York really like can get behind, is José Caballero, that you can like he's the people's player. Like, there's these players in sports that, you know, they may not be the best, but they best identify with the city's culture and the city's, you know, identity. And for us growing up, it was Tony Allen. Everybody back home loved Tony Allen. And I feel like José Caballero could be one of those guys. Like, I feel like everybody can like get behind a guy. He's super gritty, steals the bases. He's pesky, you know, shows a lot of heart on the field, emotions on his sleeves, not afraid to go at it now, as we've seen this season. So,
yeah, that's true. He's a guy that's he's the guy that the Yankees have been looking for that they haven't really had in a while. He's kind of just a pest, and loves that label of being a pest on the base pass, on the field. The Yankees have missed that. They've kind of felt like they were lethargic at times, didn't take the extra base, weren't able to steal bases, whatever, all that stuff. You know, the narrative that the Yankees have had for quite some time. I feel like he has absolutely come in and filled a much needed gap for this team that I talked about it last time. I think he's going to add, and other guys on this team are going to add like versatility to this roster and for postseason baseball that they didn't have, where they can fill in so many different positions, hitting lefties. You got guys that can do that. Coming into pinch run, you got guys that can do that. He's one of them, guys that can play multiple positions. So yeah, taking away the numbers, he is the perfect type of pest that the Yankees had been waiting for. And I'm excited to have him on the team. Again, I'm very curious to see if he gets the starts at shortstop in the postseason, or is it going to be Volpe? Because it's been Volpe that's played the past 2 games there at shortstop, past 3 games, excuse me. He played all 3 games at short. Caballero has not gotten a start since Sunday at shortstop. But yeah, great addition. Fun for the team.
How do you feel, though? You're not giving me your true opinion. You're just like, yeah, you know.
I am giving you my true opinion. What else do you want me to say?
I mean, I think he's
going to win the MVP award. Like, yeah, he's a good player to have on the team.
I feel like he's what like you said, what they've been missing, and I feel like he's the most underrated player on the Yankees.
I don't feel like he's underrated though. I feel like he's getting hyped up pretty well.
But I feel like nobody talks about the at-bats that he does. I mean, like, there's so many times I've seen him play that, like, in a game, he'll have an 8-9 pitch at-bat, and he'll come up with a hit, or it's a positive putting the ball in play, like, outcome. Like, if it's like a sac fly, or he's, like, working the count. And I feel that's something that doesn't get measured a lot in today's game. Like, we all measure, like, you know, bat speed, arm angle, and, you know, attack angle is the big one. Exit velo, but we're not tracking, like, you know, there has to be a statistic, and if not, like, I don't know, there needs to be one made for like positive at bats. Like, what are you doing with your at bats? Like, okay, are you taking 3 pitches? Are you getting an out after 3 pitches? Are you working the count and working the pitcher, increasing the pitch count and putting the ball in play, putting strain on the defenders? And that's what Jose does. He gets long, meaningful at-bats, which one works the pitches, and when he gets the ball in play, he's super fast. He's a pest. He steals bases, and he's a threat to just eke out a small ball hit, like a little league hit.
Yeah, there's quality at bats. I don't know if that's a metric that's really measured in like Fangraphs, all the stat websites. But yeah, quality at bats is something that teams point to. I don't know if, again, how that's measured, what the definition is, but that is something that when I was playing, we definitely thought about having quality at bats, making the pitcher work, stuff like that. And yeah, he definitely does that in a way that Volpe maybe doesn't. But I don't want to really get into that conversation because I do think Volpe's going to be the starting shortstop in the playoffs.
But I love quality at bats. You don't know, I'm like a guy for quality at bats. Like, you know those memes that they do, like, oh yeah, I like Scatterboo. Scatterboo runs hard in the hole. I like players that, like, quality at bats, work the pitches. Oh yeah, he may be out, but he gets 10 or 12 pitches out of the pitcher. Again, that's a lot. Pitchers don't really normally throw more than like 15 to 20 pitches in an inning. And if you can get at least half of that in one player, that's a lot for a pitcher.
Yeah, absolutely. Quality at bats are very important, especially in the postseason when you're going to be facing good pitchers. If you can have a 10 pitch at bat, 8, 9, 10 pitch at bat against Garrett Crochet, and that ends up knocking him out in the 6th inning instead of the 7th or 8th inning, that's huge. That's what I'm saying. A huge difference.
That's what I'm saying. That's the difference that nobody talks about. Like he does that. There's so many times I've seen him play and it happens. But regardless, we've talked about José Caballero for the past 10 minutes. Great series. Again, Fried, worth every freaking penny. Like 195, no injury concerns, pitched a whole full MLB season for the Yankees, and he was worth what y'all paid. Did you expect anything more or anything less from Max this year?
I don't think I was expecting this level of play from him. He leads all of baseball in wins this year. And I know wins, people say it's not a relevant stat category anymore, but I feel like going 19-5 in a regular season is still super impressive. You look at the Yankees losing Cole in spring training. Those two guys, Fried and Rodón, had to step up and carry the load in that rotation this year. And they end up having career years, setting career highs in a lot of different categories in wins, innings pitched, strikeouts for Fried. Rodón gets to 200 strikeouts. They both had very, very good seasons, and they stayed healthy, more importantly, because if either of those guys were shaky, and of course they did have their stretches where they were shaky, but if they had bad seasons or they just got hurt, like that team would be looking a lot different than it is now. And I know guys like Schlittler and Heel, to maybe a lesser extent, have stepped up, but Fried and Rodón carried the load for the entirety of the season. And like that made a huge, huge difference in the Yankee. You can look at it directly, wins and losses on their record this year. Like it affected the Yankees' success this season substantially. So if you want to point to, obviously Judge is, in the MVP race in the American League, but you want to talk about most valuable pitchers or whatever, I think Fried and Rodón are really, they have strong arguments to be two of the most valuable pitchers in the American League and all of baseball this season, in my opinion.
I agree. Another thing I'd like to point out, Cam Schlittler, how good of a pitcher he's been. He hasn't pitched, but when you think about it, I thought about, the Yankees rotation is probably the weakest point of this team this year. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I trust the bullpen to get it done in the postseason. And as you can see, the bullpen's getting it done this season. Hopefully Luke Weaver is not thinking about that Clay Holmes contract with the comments that he says that he's looking for rotation options after the season. So, this is probably his swan song as a Yankee, because I don't think the Yankees are going to convert him back to a starter. Do we agree with that?
Yeah, no way. I didn't. That report was kind of weird coming out at the timing of that. It did. I guess he did an interview with Heyman or something, but it's been working for him in the bullpen. It's kind of revitalized his career. I understand why you would want to be a starter and all of the, kind of like glitz and glamour headlines and money.
Financial benefits,
money, that you get as being a starter. But yeah, if he's going to want to be a starter, the Yankees just have too many options there. He's not going to be a starter for the Yankees.
Marcus Stroman, who else? Sean Manaea, Jameson Taillon, all of them are in that $18-19 million range. So that's a big chunk of cheddar, as they would like to say these days. But regardless, sometimes the best trades are the trades you don't make. Cam Schlittler, man. I think he's probably let's look at the landscape and I read this too, and I wanted to bring this up. Let's look at the landscape of pitchers that were traded at the deadline and the ones that weren't traded at the deadline. What starters were traded at the deadline? Charlie Morton got DFA'd. He's back in Atlanta. Chris Paddock got moved to the bullpen from Detroit. Merrill Kelly, he's been solid, but he's a free agent. Who else do we got left as a starter in the trade deadline? Can't really think of many right now, but I think the biggest point is Cam Schlittler is probably the best acquisition the Yankees could have done. Like, I think him having team control and him putting him into the rotation, he's given meaningful innings. I'm not saying he's pitched like Cy Young quality, but he's pitched well. And I think that's what you needed for the second half stretch run. And again, not making the trade and having Schlittler, I think Schlittler exceeded expectations in his second half MLB season. And I think he's way better than anything you could have gotten to put into the rotation at the deadline.
I agree wholeheartedly. He's better than what Stroman could have gave, at the number that he was making. So Schlittler has been a huge addition. And he was dominating in the minor leagues. He was kind of one of those guys that just forced his way, I feel like, into the major league rotation. And yeah, he's been a lot of fun to watch. Let's see what happens in the playoffs with him, if he starts game 3 or if they move him to the bullpen. He also starts on Saturday, arguably the biggest start of his career, going up against Sagano from the Orioles. That's an afternoon game, I believe. We'll see how Friday nets out, because like every single day is going to kind of, have an effect and impact on the approach to the game on Saturday and Sunday, whatever. Every game is so big. We're at game 150, 160 now. They've played 159, only 3 to go. So yeah, Schlittler, I agree. I think, Yankee fans were maybe a little bit disappointed, and I feel like this is kind of how it always is at the trade deadline when the Yankees don't make moves or they didn't make a move to get a starter. But at the end of the day, like you said, sometimes the best trades are the ones you don't make. And there are so many trades that teams have made at this year's deadline where it's like, that one didn't really work out for him. Cedric Mullins, you talked about the starting pitchers. Ryan Helsley has not really worked out for the Mets. So it is weird, like, for those players moving midseason to a different team, different organization, different, just vibe in the clubhouse, different approach to pitching for starters. I do think, it can have an impact on them mentally and on all that stuff and how they play during in games on their new teams. And I do think, the bullpen acquisitions, despite being frustrating at times, David Bednar, David Bednar has not been frustrating at times, but guys like Camilo Doval have been frustrating at times. Obviously, Jake Bird had like a cup of coffee with the major league team and then got sent down. But I think Bednar and Doval are going to step up in the postseason. Bednar's been that guy. I think Doval is going to be there. And we also got to talk about Devin Williams. Devin Williams has been very, very good in that 8th inning role of late. And I feel like maybe he's just a little bit more comfortable being that 8th inning guy, because that's kind of where he made his role, or that's where he kind of found his niche in Major League Baseball when he was on the Brewers, being the 8th inning guy behind or in front of Josh Hader. You look at him if you look at him in the month of August, ever since giving up 4 earned runs in Houston, if you look at him in the month of September, if you take away that game in Houston on September 3rd, where he gave up 4 earned runs, he has gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 innings pitched, no earned runs, and only 4 hits. There's only 2 walks. He has been very good for this Yankee team ever since that outing that he struggled in Houston. So for all of the crazy turbulence that Devin Williams has gone through this season, his struggles obviously self-inflicted, but all the off the field noise and stuff like that, I feel like he's found his role back in the 8th inning where he feels like he's comfortable. And I think he's going to be an asset for this team in the postseason, which I don't think that's something we would have said 3 months ago, but I'm happy for him. I know it hasn't been against great teams for the most part, but let's see what he does in October.
But he's trying to get paid, my guy. That's what matters. It's time. It's time to get paid. Contracts up, rent is due, bills got to be paid. Pay what you weigh, as they say.
Yeah, and I think if he has a good postseason, he can get back to whatever number he was thinking he was going to be at heading into the season. Because at the end of the day, what do people remember? They don't remember what you did in April and May. They remember what you did in October, and he's going to have a huge opportunity here in the spotlight to not only make himself some money, but also kind of wipe away those ghosts that he kind of has from last season against the Mets when he was on the Brewers. So very excited and a little bit nervous, but curious to see what Williams looks like in the postseason.
Recency bias is a hell of a drug, I like to say. They say attention's a hell of a drug. Recency bias is a hell of a drug. So we will see. I mean, we see it all the time in other sports, and sorry that I keep bringing other sports, but somebody will have an elite postseason run, and then they'll get paid. Look at all those guys that LeBron played with on the Cavaliers. They all got extreme contracts, and guess what? None of them lived up to that money, and then they all went back to LeBron. So, you know. But I mean, yeah, I mean, William, big weekend this weekend. You got Baltimore, 1 to 10. How excited are for you? Baltimore, you got Trevor Rogers tonight, Sagano tomorrow, and Sunday. I'm not sure who, but
Kyle Bradish.
Kyle Bradish. I mean, William, you're tied for the division with the Blue Jays for the East. How are you feeling? You're at home. I mean, we'll talk about the division races next, but don't want to step on those toes right now. But how are we feeling?
I mean, gotta be nervous heading into this last weekend, facing their two really good pitchers that shut the Yankees down last weekend in Rogers and Bradish. Got to Sagano. It's going to be tough. I do think they probably drop a game either tonight or Sunday, or hell, even both. And I don't know. I feel like Toronto could sweep Tampa, so it's going to be interesting. Because there's, yes, they are tied, but obviously the Blue Jays own the tiebreaker right now. So
it'll be interesting to see. But that wraps up our Yankees weekend review. 1 to 10. How are we feeling after this week? Review the week. Great.
I mean, that series was frustrating at times, struggling against Shane Smith, which we didn't really talk about, struggling a little bit against Dean Martin last night, who had a lot of strikeouts, retired like 8-9 guys at one point in a row. You won all 3 games. That's what matters. So I'll give it a 10. But there is some nervousness heading into this weekend.
Perfect. Well, let's get into the MLB weekend review, my guy. I think it's time to talk about what's going on. Can we first off talk about the races? I want to brief everybody on these races. As of Friday morning, this is how the playoff chase goes. Currently in first place, you have the Toronto Blue Jays, which are tied for the division lead with the AL East with the New York Yankees, who is the 4th seed, which is the first wild card. Number 2, Seattle has clinched and won the NL West, and they are in second place. The Guardians are in third, leading the Central, which they are tied with the Detroit Tigers at 6. And at 5, you have the Boston Red Sox at 5. In the NL, in the AL, Houston is 1 game back from Detroit, but Detroit owns the tiebreaker. So Houston needs to win 2 games, essentially, to get on top of Detroit. In the NL, the Brewers are your NL Central champions. The Phillies are your NL East champions. The Dodgers are your NL West champions. The Cubs are in 4th. The Padres are 2 games behind the Cubs, and they own the tiebreaker due to intra-divisional record. And then in 6, you have the Mets, who are only a game above the Cincinnati Reds, but the Reds own the tiebreaker. And then the Diamondbacks, who are 2 games behind the Mets. So that's the playoff picture. William, where do you want to start out this week of ball?
Yeah, and just for those watching on YouTube, I do have the postseason bracket as things stand heading into Friday's games. So key changes: Guardians have overtaken the Tigers, like we mentioned, for the division. So they'd be the 3 seed. The Yankees are still the 4 seed, playing Boston because they're tied with Toronto right now. They would play Toronto if they won the Boston series. And then nothing's changed in the National League except that the Mets hopped into that spot over the Reds. But things are tight there. And I believe the Brewers pretty much have the 1 seed locked up. The Phillies have the 2 seed locked up. They have a bye locked up, that is. So the Dodgers will be playing in the wild card round. And then Cubs Padres is a confirmed series. It's just a matter of where they're going to be playing that series. They'll determine that this weekend. Like you said, the Padres are 2 games behind the Cubs for that spot, but the Padres do own the tiebreaker. Padres play the D-backs and the Cubs play the Cardinals. Cubs have been playing some bad baseball, but I think we should continue in the American League, wrap up the American League, and then move into some of the chaos that's going on in the National League.
Let's talk about the Guardians, my guy.
Oh, man.
We got a lot of Guardian listeners, and I know they've been waiting for this. They are hardcore guards. I mean, it's going on Twitter. I mean, they had a big series this week, and I mean, that game on Tuesday night, man, oh man, it's something that we have to talk about. The Detroit Tigers played the Cleveland Guardians this week. Guardians won 2 out of 3 on Tuesday night. They won 5-2, and the pitching duel that was Gavin Williams and Carrick Skubal on Wednesday, they Guardians won 5-1 and taking sole possession of the Central, and then yesterday night, Tigers won 4-2. And they tied up the division. But, I mean, Tuesday night's game is something to talk about. Gavin Williams went 6 strong, 2 earned, 12 strikeouts. And Tarek Skubal went 6 strong, 1 earned, 8 strikeouts. They melted down. I mean, They were up 2-0, bunt single leading to an error. Then there was an infield single and then a wild pitch, a balk, a ground out. David Fry got hit in the face with the ball.
That was crazy.
6 to 8 weeks. I mean, it was a crazy game. I'm telling you right now, my group chats with my Ohioans were definitely going crazy. I was at a game night and I was trying to watch the game and follow it through my phone, but my phone was just going between you, my buddy Patrick, Mike and John were watching it. It was just too much to control at once. But what a game. I mean, we've never seen something like this happen, guys. Like, I keep trying to remember, like, non-ball knowers that, you know, the last time we saw this big of a lead blown, like, the Tigers were up 15 and a half games this season. They were, like, the best team after the first half. And for them to blow a 15 and a half lead, we haven't seen that in years. The largest, you know, division blown lead in MLB history was only, you know, 15 games. So it was nuts.
Who was the 15 games?
It was in the 70s. I remember I had it in my notes. So right now, the Brooklyn Dodgers had a 13 and a half game lead in 1951, and it stands as the largest MLB history for a team to lose a pennant or division title. And the New York Giants famously came back to win the shot heard around the world at the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
You also have the Boston Red Sox in 1978. They had a 14-game lead over the Yankees in the AL East. Yankees surged back, going 20-3, and the Yankees won the division in a 1-game playoff. California Angels had a 13-game lead of the AL West and collapsed. The 2012 Rangers had a 13-game lead over the Athletics, and the Mets had a 17-game lead. Comfortable 7-game lead in the NL East, and then proceeded to lose 12 out of the last 17. I mean, this is like historic. 15 and a half is a crazy number. Like, yeah. And like, I would like to pose to you, Detroit's been stumbling. Do they even want to play playoff baseball?
What kind of question is that?
I mean, they haven't been playing like it. I mean, I don't know what's happened. What happened to the Detroit Tigers teams that we were praising at the first half?
It's Jekyll and Hyde. It's two different teams. They haven't been hitting, and I feel like once that doubt starts to creep in, and the thing with the Tigers, I feel like, is they've been on this schneid for so long. They've blown this division lead. It feels like kind of it's affecting their mentality. The mental has been just gone with them. They've lost the mental fortitude or the confidence probably that they had in the first half. It feels like to them, probably the sky is falling. And you would think that having a guy, one of what I think is one of the best managers in all of baseball, and AJ Hinch, you would think having him in that clubhouse would kind of help them avoid a collapse like this. I look at the Reds and what Terry Francona has done over there. He's, not, those two guys aren't necessarily like direct to like comparisons. Francona is kind of on a different level than Hinch, in my opinion, in terms of historical success, whatever, but similar type of vibe. Alex Cora in Boston, same thing. Like, they've been able to right the ship despite having struggles throughout the season and still be in the race. Red Sox are going to clinch. Tigers haven't had that from Hinch this year. Again, the starting rotation outside of Skubal, even Skubal, the Guardians got to Skubal in that 6th inning. Skubal had an error where he threw the ball between his legs on the bunt. And by the way, he visited David Fry in the hospital. I thought that was a class act by Skubal. when he hit him in the face. The rotation outside of him, though, has just been a huge question mark, and they're not hitting. The lineup is not that scary. You have Riley Green, who's up to 36 home runs on the season, but he also has a billion strikeouts. I think he leads all of baseball in strikeouts this season. Let me just check right here. I have it up. Yeah, he's second, but first in the American League with 198 strikeouts. James Wood leads all of baseball in strikeouts with 215, which is just a crazy amount of strikeouts. But Riley Green's hitting dingers, but it's like, who else in that lineup? You feel pretty confident pitching to all of those guys. They don't play great defense. Gleyber Torres at second. We've done that song and dance with the Yankees for so long. And I don't know. I feel bad for Tigers fans because it is just a collapse of epic proportions, and they could still fall out of the playoffs. It's not out of the cards. The thing is Houston. So Houston's a game back. Who owns the tiebreaker between those two? I feel like you mentioned it earlier.
The Guardians. So the Guardians. I mean,
no. The Astros and the Tigers. Sorry.
The Astros and the Tigers. Oh, I'm not sure, but
I can pull it up.
Yeah, but I mean, I have some stats. I mean, this is a 15.5 game collapse. Tigers lost 8 in a row before losing the whole lead. 11 out of 12, 20 out of losing 20 out of 27, 26 and 39 since July 8th. Led the division for 184 days. And I mean, my question is, shouldn't we have seen this coming? I mean, ERA wasn't great this season lately. They strike out at an immense pace. Only 3 teams have struck out more, according to The Athletic, than the Tigers. And this month they have a 5.23 ERA. Is this something that we could have seen coming before the break? Or we just like...
Well, they did get swept by the Mariners before the break, and I remember us talking about it. We're like, that's something to monitor. Tigers in the second half. It kind of felt like they weren't necessarily playing for much besides the 1 seed because it felt like the division was over at that point. How motivated were they at that point? Turns out that could have started the collapse. That was the start of the avalanche, you could say. And I just looked it up. The Tigers own the tiebreaker over the Astros, which is huge. So the Astros essentially have to make up 2 games this weekend. Astros play the Angels, and the Tigers play the Red Sox in Fenway, which is going to be a huge series. Scooble is going on Sunday. So assuming they don't clinch before that, if the Tigers do clinch a playoff spot before that, or they clinch the division before that, whatever, which I don't think that's possible. Well, they'd have to win the first 2 games. I don't know. Scooble is scheduled for Sunday right now. I think if for whatever reason they're not in a scenario where they don't need to clinch anything, everything's all set and done before Sunday, they would rest Scooble on Sunday and then start him in game 1 of whatever series they're playing.
I mean, yeah, but we've talked a lot of the Tigers collapse, and I mean, a lot of I sense that we'll get text messages. Especially me from my Guardian fans, be like, Luis, you're not giving credit to the Guardians. I mean, hey, it's time to give credit to the Guardians. I mean, talk about what the pitching staff has done. Gavin Williams, Tanner Bybee. I mean, Gavin Williams is slowly becoming one of the Major League's best pitchers, and that we don't talk about. Between him, J-Ram, Stephen Kwan, who I think is ridiculously underrated. I think probably the most underrated outfielder because, he plays in Cleveland, and 2, he doesn't hit dingers. Here's a quality MLB player. I think he is top 10 outfielder in the game right now.
That's a guy that was floated at the trade deadline. And I remember after one of the games, he was saying, apparently he waves to the fans after every single game, but fans thought maybe that was him saying goodbye before the trade deadline, but he stayed. They didn't move him, and thank God they didn't.
Yeah, I mean, Stephen Vogt needs to get a Manager of the Year candidacy. I mean, when you look at Manager of the Year in the AL, you're obviously going to talk about AJ Hinch for the Tigers. He's going to get some votes for what they did in the first 60% of the season. What's his name? The guy you don't like. Oh my God, I'm blanking.
For what? Manager?
Blue Jays.
Oh, John Schneider.
I was going to say Davis Schneider, but John Schneider is going to get votes for what he's done with Toronto. But Stephen Vogt for this comeback and, you know, a very young team with not that much talent in comparison to a lot of MLB teams that are in the hunt. Like, I mean, he should be right there and up there. But, I mean, J-Ram always doing the big hit. Talk about a superstar that gets no pub.
Can I say, J-Rams, he gets a lot of pub, I feel like, at this point.
No, he doesn't, because he plays in Cleveland.
He's a Tigers killer. In his career, he has a 307 batting average with 188 hits, 35 home runs, 123 ribbies, and 119 runs scored in 168 games against the Tigers.
No, he's
a Tigers killer, man.
He's a killer. But that wraps that up. Any more notes on that?
I don't think so. You know, all to play for this weekend for both of those teams. This season against the Tigers, J-Ram has a 347 average with a 1.030 OPS against the Tigers. He kills that team. And I talked about heading into the series. It kind of just felt like all the pressure's on the Tigers. It's in Cleveland, playoff atmosphere. Sure enough, Guardians won the series.
Hey, hard for guards, baby. Let's go to Boston and talk about the Boston-Toronto series. In Toronto, Boston won 2 out of 3. Tuesday they won 4-1. Wednesday they won 7-1, and then Thursday the Blue Jays hit a grand slam to win 6-1 off Dalton Varsho, off Justin Wilson in the 6th, making it 4-0. I mean, Tuesday they got a okay start from Giolito, going 4 2/3 with unearned. And then Wednesday, Garrett Crochet was doing Garrett Crochet things. 8 strong, 3 hits, 0 earned, 6 strikeouts, and 100 pitches. And again, I didn't bring this up with my Guardian fans. I was talking to John again. John, if you're listening, I know you're probably listening. Shout out to you. You gave me this thought just by talking. But did Tariq Skubal blow the Cy Young on Tuesday? Between Crochet and Skubal, I think it is closer than people think. I know statistically it's close, but who is, again, we fall into the who is the better pitcher, one, and then who is the most important pitcher. And I feel like if you look at importance, I feel Crochet is more important than Skubal to the Red Sox.
Crochet is more important to the Red Sox. Oh, is he though?
It's tough. It's tough. When you look at it, it's tough, man. I mean, Skubal is great, but I mean,
when you look at all the metrics, like Skubal, he has better numbers. He has better ERA plus. Crochet does have more strikeouts, but Skubal has the better strikeout rate. He has the better walk rate, less walks. Skubal is in WAR, in F-WAR he's leading, in B-WAR he's leading. Tarek Skubal leads all of baseball in F4 this season with a 6.6. Skubal's at 5.8, Crochet is at 5.8. Crochet is done. He's not pitching again, probably in the regular season. And Skubal might pitch on Sunday. Again, you know, I think all of the numbers do point to Skubal, but there is something about, and it's stupid, it doesn't make any sense, but there is something about Garrett Crochet in essentially what was a must-win game for the Red Sox, going 8 shut, 6 strikeouts, 100 pitches in Toronto against the best team in the American League record-wise, going up to a tough place to play, the fortress that is Rogers Center, and just shutting the Blue Jays down. And then you got Skubal going on the road in a must-win game against a Guardians team that is, you know, the reason, or, you know, take over the division, clinch the tiebreaker on the season, and he has that 6th inning collapse. If those are the last things that voters remember from both of their seasons, maybe they do give it to Crochet. I still think it's Skubal. The numbers speak for themselves. Both are 2 incredible pitchers. Like, Crochet's having a Cy Young caliber season in pretty much any other season. It's just Tarek Skubal has been so freaking good. And Skubal was good through the first few innings of that start and then started to struggle a little bit. But yeah, if that's, you know, if those are their last arguments for the Cy Young, maybe it is Crochet that's going to win.
I don't know, man. It's just Crochet's just been so good. And I mean, like you said, it's those moments. And again, I think about the moments. I think about, like, hey, Crochet, when his team needed him, he rose up to the occasion and got it done. Skubal had that 6th inning. And I mean, the Tigers haven't been good lately. The Red Sox have been the opposite. Red Sox have been a team ascending. or staying up there, the Tigers have been a team in free fall.
DraftKings, this is crazy. Tarek Skubal is minus 20,000 to win the Cy Young. Crochet is plus 1,000. So Tarek Skubal is the heavy favorite betting odds wise right now.
I mean, that's way too. I mean, I have my opinions, but I mean, hey, there's a reason why I don't have a vote in the baseball Writers Association and for awards. I'm heavily biased.
Everyone has their biases though. Like everyone does biases, whatever.
Yeah,
Everyone
but I mean, hey, good win for the Red Sox. I mean, big series this weekend. Tigers and Red Sox. Gun to your head, who gets it done this weekend?
I think they both get it done. I think they're both in the playoffs. I think.
But in terms of the Tigers, who wins? Are the Tigers winning the division or not?
No, Guardians are winning the division. Guardians got Texas, and they don't face DeGrom. And, the Rangers aren't playing for anything at this point. The Guardians have Ciccone, Cantillo, and Williams pitching. The Rangers have Leiter, Kelly, and Corbin. I think Guardians win 2 out of 3, maybe even sweep it. And I think the Tigers win 1 out of 3 in Boston. But I think Houston doesn't take advantage of that. And it's going to be Detroit sneaks in by the skin of their teeth as the final wild card in the American League. And Guardians win division. Red Sox make it as the 5 seed, and I think the Yankees are going to be the 4 seed playing the Red Sox in the wild card.
My other point is I don't think Gavin's going to pitch on Sunday.
Yeah, probably not.
I don't think I think they'll sub him out last minute, bullpen the game. I could totally see a scenario, and I just thought of it. Guardians win tonight, Red Sox win tonight, and then tomorrow both of them lose.
Okay.
Both the Guardians and Tigers lose tomorrow.
And then everything to play for on the last day?
No, it'd be over.
If they both win tonight?
If the Red Sox win and the Guardians win, it's over. Tigers lost. Yeah, it's over.
Sorry. Yep.
But you talked about Texas and Houston. Texas has been very bad. They played the Twins. Twins won 2 out of 3. They are on a very bad losing streak. They were on an 8-game losing streak till Wednesday. Minnesota won 4-1 on Tuesday. Rangers won 4-2 in DeGrom's final start. DeGrom was being great. Good to see him get a full year. I mean, I feel like that's one of the biggest what ifs. He's like the Derrick Rose in baseball of pitching. Like the biggest what if he would have stayed healthy. Like just one of the bigger what ifs. And then the Twins won 4-0 last night. Houston, in other words, they went and played Sacramento. They played the A's. A's won 5-1 on Tuesday and 6-0 on Wednesday. Severino on Wednesday went 6 1/3, 0 earned, 5 strikeouts in his final start, tipping the hat to the Sacramento fans, which is pretty funny after the season that he's had. Difficult season, first year out there up in Northern California. And then Astros won 11-5 on Thursday. I mean, A's still a lot to look forward to next season. Again, they're going to be a very trendy, hipster pick to start the year to win division, make a run in the playoffs. I mean, if they get any pitching through free agency or through trades, the hype train will be fully gone. I think, if you have stock, buy now before it gets even higher. I think this is like the last time you could probably buy a stock at a high price, but still tolerable. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely. We talked about them a lot this season, but Langoliers had 4 hit games on Wednesday and Thursday. You had a 2 home run game from Nick Kurtz on Thursday, 35 on the season for him, but a huge start by Framber Valdez on Thursday, going 7 1 earned run and 10 strikeouts. So he was huge, kind of salvaging the series there, keeping them in the hunt a little bit. They did lose Jeremy Pena. He's injured.
Oblique strain.
Yeah. So that's, again, season from hell for them, really, if we're being honest. And then you also had, I don't have anything on the Texas series. DeGrom finished 2.97 ERA on the season, so sub 3.
Still has it, man. I mean, he's like one of the biggest what ifs.
Yeah, I guess.
Like for pitching, I mean, if he stays healthy, he doesn't go that, we'll never know. But Wrapping up the AL, the big AL, the Mariners swept the Rockies. Mariners won 4-3 on Tuesday, 9-2 on Wednesday. Cal Raleigh hit an upper deck, and the eighth player hit an upper deck in homer in T-Mobile Park history. 2-homer night, and then the Mariners won last night 6-2. I mean, now we got to open up the debate, my guy. Cal Raleigh or Aaron Judge? I mean, we're never seeing a season like this from a catcher. God knows when we're going to see it. I mean, think about the mental strain. I know we talked about it before, but the mental strain of a catcher taking all the nicks and bruises back there behind the plate, calling the game for the pitchers, and then at the same time, you are just blasting nukes left and right. But then you have a freaking mutant out there in New York who is the best hitter in baseball right now, if we want to be honest. If you look at all the hitting categories, Aaron Judge has higher OPS, higher average. It's just the homers that Cal Raleigh hasn't beat, and Cal Raleigh is a catcher. 60 home runs. The record's on the line this weekend. If he just goes ballistic in the next 3 games, Seattle goes ballistic, he could have the home run record, which is crazy for a catcher to do that. Yeah, and I mean, if you look at ex-players, they are like, wow, this is like ridiculous. But then there's like Aaron Judge, who's like 6'7" and just a better player. So it's just like, what do you want?
Better hitter.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting that Passan said he was talking to voters.
I saw that on McAfee.
Yeah. Who the voters talked to players, and they were asking them who they think the MVP is. And it seems like the overwhelming consensus among players is they're saying that Aaron Judge is the MVP. Again, we've talked about it a lot. I think you can make a good argument for both. At this point, I think I'd be in favor for co-MVPs because it feels wrong not giving Judge an MVP when he's putting up just ludicrous numbers, leading all of baseball, not just the American League, in so many stat categories, all of the key hitting categories. And he's played, a solid right field this season. I think he's 2 outs above average out there with good arm strength and all that stuff. And it would also feel criminal to give away or to take away an MVP from Cal Raleigh, who's having, one of the best catching seasons we've seen in a long time. I don't know if it's the best catching season of all time because, people have surfaced some other really good catching seasons, like Mike Piazza in 97. Buster Posey had a really good season in 2012. Roy Campanella had some good seasons in there. So there are other really good catching seasons, but he's hit 60 plus home runs as a freaking catcher. He's not going to win the Gold Glove. It's going to be Alejandro Kirk. Go look at his numbers and what he does behind the plate. He's been by far and away, in my opinion, the best catcher in the American League, unless I'm forgetting somebody, but I don't think I am. I think Kirk's
defensively.
Yeah, defensively.
before people get triggered,
Defensively, yes, defensively. So, Raleigh's not going to win, but he is a catcher, so that's the argument there. I will say, if you're voting for Cal Raleigh to be MVP, you better vote for Drake Baldwin to be the National League Rookie of the Year because he's a catcher. Same logic. I will say one stat that really stands out to me, and I feel like maybe is flying a little bit under the radar in terms of the MVP race, is intentional walks and walks in general. Aaron Judge broke the American League record for intentional walks this season. He's up to 36 heading into Friday's games. The all-time record, by the way, is ludicrous. It's Barry Bonds, Barry Bonds had 120 intentional walks in 2002. Judge broke the American League record and he's only at 36. That's crazy. But people just aren't pitching to Aaron Judge. And I feel like that speaks to just how good of a hitter he is. And he's only one behind Juan Soto in terms of total walks on the season. And of course, Judge missed some time with injury. He's played 8 less games than Soto has this season. So you would think if Judge just stayed healthy, he would be leading all of baseball in walks too. People just don't pitch to Aaron Judge. And I think that does speak to just how good of a hitter he is, how valuable he is to that Yankee team. It's not like it's not like he's got scrubs hitting behind him. He's got Cody Bellinger, who's an all-star caliber player, going to get paid a lot of money this offseason because of the season he's put together this season. And I was looking at the numbers. Raleigh typically hits in front of Julio Rodriguez. You compare Julio Rodriguez and Cody Bellinger, the numbers are very similar on the season. So both are very strong hitters hitting behind Raleigh and Judge, and Judge just gets walked because they don't want to pitch to the guy. He's so good. Again, both can win it. if Raleigh hits 63 and breaks Judge's record, I think that probably clinches the thing. But man, it's the best MVP race we've seen in a long, long, long time. Best I can remember, to be honest.
Yeah.
I am getting a little tired of the discourse. It's getting a little toxic. People are entrenched in their camp, and you're not going to change their mind at this point.
Yeah. You forget Colorado has a home run derby this season too, so that's gonna.
Wasn't he All-Star Game MVP?
No, because it was Schwarber.
Oh, it was Schwarber. Yeah, it was Schwarber.
Yeah, Schwarber. And so that's another debate. The NL MVP race. I mean, let's talk about the NL MVP race. I mean, you do have
what race?
You have Soto in the race, Schwarber.
The race for second.
I mean,
yeah. I don't even think they have odds on the board anymore for that one.
For Ohtani, but let's talk about the NL. I mean, Philadelphia played Miami. Sad noises.
I think that's why we're wearing black today.
Miami is officially eliminated from playoff contention as of last night. Marlins won 6-5 and 11 on Tuesday. Game-tying home run off Gilberto Hernandez of Johan Duran in the ninth. Phillies won Wednesday 11-1, breaking a franchise record, 8 homers in a game, clinching the bye to the DS. Schwarber hit 2 bombs, and then Phillies won last night 1-0. Walker Buehler's been a revelation. Bad noises. Good season from the boys. Very excited to see what happens next year. Again, I'll just ask William what he thinks, because I know whatever you think is going to happen with this team is what probably Bendix is going to do, because I feel like you guys have similar baseball philosophy, drafting college hitters and toolsy guys. I don't know.
I mean, being eliminated in game 159 in what people were kind of just hoping they would, in a season where people were just hoping the Marlins would win 60 games, I feel like it speaks volumes to what the season they've put together. 77 and 82 right now. And I think, yes, you lose the series against the Phillies. The Monday night or the Tuesday night game was very exciting with the Hernandez home run, winning it in extras. Jansen Junk had a good start. Obviously, he got shelled on Wednesday night. But the coaching staff calling pitches seems to kind of be working. It's going to be an interesting wrinkle for the Mets to kind of deal with this weekend, in where the Mets, the Marlins can play spoiler this weekend. That's what they're doing. They got their best 3 pitchers lined up.
That's right.
Okay. Sandy Alcantara on Friday, Yuri Perez on Saturday, and Edward Cabrera on Sunday. Right now, the Mets have lined up Brandon Sproat, Sean Manaea, and David Peterson. That's on Fangraphs. Don't know if that's exactly how it's going to net out. But they have the opportunity to play spoiler. The Mets historically, I feel like, struggle in Miami. It's going to be a fun series because the Mets are playing for everything.
That's right. The Mets, we're ready. I'm telling you right now, the Miami Marlins this weekend, you're coming to the fortress that is Loan Depot. That stadium's going to be packed with 15,000 this weekend, and those 15,000 are going to be loud and proud. Like,
they're all going to be Mets fans.
Trust me, it's going to be a home game for us. Sandy Alcantara, Edward Cabrera, and Yuri Perez, we're coming. Mets better be ready. They don't know. They just expect, we got fans that steal home run balls out there. Like, you gotta be ready for what the fortress is. Like, it's going to be a loud environment. It's going to be hostile. It's going to be a crowd, like I said, a crowd of 15,000. It's going to be a lot of blue in the seats. It's going to be the hottest ticket in town. I'm telling you right now, it's going to take me an hour to get home from work because I'll pass by the stadium, and it's going to be all those Miami Marlins fans. We're ready.
Is it really going to be the hottest ticket in town this weekend?
We're going to have 15,000, my guy. 15,000 packing the seats.
Yeah, like mostly Mets fans.
I'm telling you right now. I'll come on this podcast on Monday, and I will be happy because we are going to eliminate the Mets. The Mets are going to be in shambles. The Mets, they won the series against the Cubs. Cool. You have a season where Lindor went 30-30, Alonso hit 30 home runs, and Soto hit more than 30 home runs. But we're eliminating you guys. We're coming. Like, you don't understand the fortress that is Loan Depot Park. When that park of a capacity of 34,000 gets seated with 15,000 fans in there, it just becomes another different environment. And you know that.
I know Mets fans aren't excited for this series. I can tell you that. The Marlins at home this year, 36-42. They actually have a winning record on the road, 41-40. They finished on the road schedule this year, 41-40. That's pretty good. You want to talk about the Mets series and kind of set up the NL wildcard race?
Yeah, and I'll be serious. I mean, the Mets won the Cup Series, as I said earlier, 2 out of 3. The Mets won 9 out of 7. Again, Lindor hit a homer. Nemo hit a homer. Alvarez 2-inning save for Edwin Diaz. I mean, the Mets came back after going down early, which is really big. Cade Horton left with back tightness, but it was precautionary, which is big for the Cubs. Cubs won 10-3 at a game that William was boots on the ground. They were saying Kyle Tucker could get activated. And then last night, 8-5 for the Mets. Getting the win. Shota was not good. 5 2/3, 8 earned. I mean, get it out of you. Get it out of the system.
Is that still your game one starter?
Yeah, probably. I don't know. It's just like, what are you gonna do? Cade's hurt. Shota, Matthew Boyd. I mean, probably Boyd now. I don't know.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking they might go Boyd now.
My thing is, in all seriousness, with the Mets, and I mean, like, good season for them. I do think they will make the playoffs. With all seriousness, I know I joke around with the Marlins that the Marlins are a fortress, but it just seems like when you look at the other teams in the contention, the Diamondbacks played the Dodgers and they lost 2 out of 3 this week. Sorry, I keep saying weekend. And then the Reds played the Pirates, in which the Pirates came and gave them a really good series. Pirates won the Skeens a green start on Wednesday in 11, and which was a fun game. Tuesday they won 4-2 the Pirates, and then last night the Reds won 2-1 in a game where it took Noelvi Marte stealing a home run in right field. I just feel like looking forward with these series is that the Brewers are still playing for the overall 1 seed. They're, believe 2 games ahead of the Phillies. So they need to win 1 against the Reds. The Brewers have been the best team in the NL. Reds historically in the past couple years have not fared well against the Brewers. And then the Mets, Mets got the Marlins. It's tough. It's just going to be like we talked about the other week. It's just like nobody wants to win the wild card. There's been ample opportunities for the Reds to come and take grasp of it. Like this week, you were in the skiing start. You had the Monday game against the Pirates. Like, you should be sweeping the Pirates if you're a playoff team, and they failed to do so. And then the Diamondbacks are just kind of there. It's like they're playing with house money. I mean, they're just getting lucky. I don't think they'll make it. They're 2 games back. Arizona has San Diego. San Diego's not playing for much right now. San Diego can't go up and can't go down.
Well, they can host the wild card series. That's what they're playing for, but still 2 back.
It's still 2 back. I just feel like it's just not going to happen. I mean, the Cubs got St. Louis. St. Louis isn't playing for anything, so
St. Louis is eliminated. Yeah, the Diamondbacks. They did lose that series to the Dodgers, so it kind of feels like they're eliminated. I think the Mets have the upper hand. I've been never wavered. I still think they're going to make the playoffs. And I was there on Wednesday where the Cubs played well and they hit a bunch of home runs. Matt Shaw had a huge night. PCA scored from second on a pass ball, which is exciting. The Mets used Clay Holmes and Shamanaya in relief for an inning each, which I thought was interesting. Jonah Tong really struggled, so it'll be interesting to see what they do with him if they make the postseason, what they do with that rotation in general if they make the postseason. I actually called a home run in that game. Soto hit a home run in the 8th inning. I told my friend, watch. They were down 10-2. I was like, watch. Soto's going to hit the most irrelevant home run right here. Sure enough, hits an opposite field home run. I've never done that before in my life, called a home run, so that was kind of funny. What?
Who hit it?
Soto.
Oh, Soto. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just looking at the division. Dodgers won 2 out of 3. Tuesday, Diamondbacks won 5-4. Shohei in his 100th career start. 6 strong, 5 hits, 8 strikeouts, 0 earned. Only player to have a homer. Only other player in MLB history to have 100 starts and 100 homers. Tanner Scott blew a save. Roki.
Babe Ruth is the only other player that did that. Sorry.
Yeah. Roki came back on Wednesday. They give him 1 inning in relief, which I think he's going to be a weapon. Coming out pitching 98 to 101 in the pen. Kershaw pitched 1 inning in the 9th. So he'll come out of the pen. Dodgers were up 4-1, but the Diamondbacks came and scored 4-4. Dodgers won in 11, 5-4, and then yesterday Yoshinobu Yamamoto was 6 innings strong, 0 earned, 7 strikeouts, 2 walks, clinching the NL West 8-0. Yamamoto's game 1, Glasnow game 2, Snell game 3. Everybody else stick him in the pen, and we'll see what happens. That's my opinion with the Dodgers.
Dodgers clinched the NL West for the 12th time in 13 years. It's their 4th straight NL West crown. Last time they did not win was when the Giants won in 2021. I mean, I don't know if that's an indictment on the division just not being good, or if that just speaks to how good the Dodgers are, because it's not like all 12 of those Dodger teams have been complete world beaters the way they have been kind of the past couple of seasons. You all right?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm fine.
All right. Just got some moaning going on over there. I don't know.
No, I don't know. I was just moving my legs. But yeah, no, the Dodgers are an incredible team. I mean, look about these teams in the past 15 years. When you look at it, the Rockies haven't been relevant in the past 15 years. Arizona's been up and down like a yo-yo. And then San Diego's only been really relevant most recently. Like, San Diego was okay in those early 10s teams, but it wasn't like they had elite talent. They're like middling in a sense. And then the Giants, I mean, that's the one that surprised me. The Giants don't have any more NL crowns, NL West crowns, which is pretty nuts.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like they've been trying to at least get like back on the Dodgers level, and they have spent money. I don't know if they spent money in the right places. I mean, you look at what they did this offseason, going out and getting Willy Adames, giving him a huge bag. I don't know if that's necessarily worked out. And it's just been like another, I don't know, kind of underwhelming season for the Giants. They had that fluke, like lightning in a bottle season in 2021 where they won 107 games. But other than that, yeah, like in 2016, the Dodgers won the West with 91 wins, and 92 in 2013, 92 in 2015. It's not like they're winning 100 games every year. 92 in 2018, 106 in 2019, 43 and 17 in 2020 when they won the World Series in the COVID year. That's a really good record. 111 wins in 2022, 100 wins in 2023, 98 last year, and they have 90 right now this year. I don't know. I think it is kind of an indictment on that division and just not being up to snuff with the Dodgers. I feel like if there's any team maybe that moving forward, I don't know if any team's really going to challenge the Dodgers in that division, to be honest, but the Giants would probably be the one team you point to because they seem to be the most willing to go out and spend money on free agents. But I mean, right now, the Dodgers are probably minus 250, minus 300 favorites to win the NL West in 2026, I would imagine.
The Dodgers just surprised. Like I said, the Giants just surprised me with not having division crowns after winning the World Series in those years.
Well, they won in 2012, 2010 and 2012. They won the division. 2014, they did not win the division when they won the World Series again.
Yeah. Final NL series of note this week is the Milwaukee San Diego series. Padres won 2 out of 3, winning on Monday, 5-4 and 11. Freddie Freeman with a walk-off RBI in the 11th, clinching the playoff spot for San Diego. Tuesday, 7-0 win for the Padres. Randy Vasquez went 7 strong, 0 earned, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. Xander returned, first game back since August 27th. And then the Brewers won on Wednesday, 3-1. Dylan Cease was good. 5 strong, 1 earned, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts. Jackson Merrill hit a homer. It was a tie game, pretty good ball game. I was watching it from the gym, and Brewers matched their franchise record of 96. So officially, after the series, there will be no team getting to 100 wins this season.
Yeah, Brewers 96 wins, so they match a franchise record. I was surprised that the Padres won this series. They won the hangover game after clinching a playoff spot. That would be the Tuesday game. They won 7-0. Ryan O'Hearn with a grand slam in the first, which made it 4-0. The Brewers pitched Bruce Zimmerman for his first game of the season and then DFA'd him after. Poor guy. But I think if they win the World Series, he would get a ring. Huge home run robbery for Jackson Chourio on Bogarts in the first inning of Wednesday's game. The Brewers, they play the Reds, so They can eliminate the Reds this weekend, and the Padres play the Diamondbacks, so they could also eliminate a team in the Diamondbacks. So lots to watch for with those two teams this weekend. Other than that, not much on that series, to be honest.
Yeah, let's touch on other series that happened this week in baseball. Again, quickly. I think we got a real meat of the playoff grinder. St. Louis and San Francisco played. Cardinals won 2 out of 3, 6-5 on Monday, 9-8 on Tuesday. Giants were up 8-3 in the sixth, but the Cardinals scored 6 unanswered with the Ryan Walker blown save. Again, the bullpen giving the Giants headaches. Giants won 4-3 on Wednesday, officially eliminating the Cardinals. Sonny Gray in his last start, 6 innings pitched, 2 earned, 7 strikeouts. We'll see if he's pitching again in St. Louis. There are rumors that he could be on the move again next year. It will be very interesting to see who takes a chance on him.
Yeah, seems like he's more willing to waive his no-trade clause. And Nolan Arenado seems like he is going to be willing to expand his list of teams that he's willing to be traded to. So I think that's kind of the end of their relationship there as well. Brendan Donovan, 4 for 5 with 4 doubles on Tuesday in their win. He should not be traded. If there's one player that the Cardinals should hang on to, it's Brendan Donovan, in my opinion, and Mason Wynn. And Mason Wynn. Yeah, I think everyone else is kind of up for grabs there, to be honest, unless I'm forgetting somebody, but I don't think, maybe Ivan Herrera. Other than that, I think it should be anybody. That's it.
Braves won 2 out of 3 from the Nationals, winning 11-5. Chris Sale closes his book out. 5 strong, 5 earned, 6 strikeouts. Braves won 3-2 on Tuesday. 10 straight wins. Again, Braves got hot at the wrong time. Nationals won 4-3. Bryce Elder went 7 strong, 3 earned, 7 strikeouts. James Wood got the 30 homers though on Wednesday night, 2 homer game.
Yeah, Drake Baldwin up to 19 home runs on the season. Again, not much from this one. Ozzie Albies fractured his left hamate bone. He had played up to every game up to that point, which sucks. He missed the Ironman 162 game stretch because he did, I believe he's on the injured list. Yeah, he's on the injured list. So he missed Tuesday and Wednesday's games. But Matt Olson is looking to be one of the few players that has played every single game this season. And I think Ellie De La Cruz is another one. Let me just pull it up. Oh,
he's insane. I mean, Matt Olson is the pinnacle of health.
It doesn't let you filter, but Brent Rooker's played 159. Ellie De La Cruz has played 159. Matt Olson, Pete Alonso, Kyle Schwarber. And I think that's it. Those are the only guys that have played every single game.
Yeah. 2 more series to wrap up. Tampa and Baltimore. Orioles won 2-3. Orioles won 6-0 on Tuesday. Rays won 6-2 Wednesday, and the Orioles won 6-5. Don't know if you saw on the Tampa getaway trip that they dressed up as I think it was Disney princesses on the way to Canada.
And we had the Orioles dress up as minions going to New York.
Oh, and the Rockies dressed up as fish as they went to Seattle.
Yeah, that was funny.
So, yeah, the Rockies were kind of a human sacrifice out there in Seattle.
I'm surprised they didn't lob up meatballs to Cal Raleigh on last night's game and let him get to 62, but he did not.
Yeah, I mean, the pride gets in the way. And then Kansas City played the Angels. Royals won 2 out of 3. Salvi moved to his second all-time RBIs. Royals RBIs behind George Brett with a first-inning RBI single. They won 8-4 on Tuesday. Wednesday, Angels won 3-2. Kenley Jansen, career save 475. Hopefully we'll see him back next season. And then the Royals win 9-4 yesterday with a Pasquantino homer. William, let's tie a bow on this podcast. I'm going to go rapid fire with you right now. Give the listeners what to look forward to this weekend. I've kind of outlined a list of series to watch this weekend. Again, let's talk about it. William, let's do it. AL, Detroit versus Boston. Detroit travels to Boston. Both teams haven't clinched. We know Detroit's fighting for division. Boston's fighting for the wild card. Who's winning that series? Who's taking it? What do you expect there?
Boston 2 out of 3.
2 out of 3. Okay, so then Texas at Cleveland. Texas has been struggling. Cleveland's going for the division.
Cleveland 2 out of 3.
So by that, you give the division to the Guards.
Yep.
Let's see what happens with the wild card. Houston versus the Angels. Who's winning that one?
Let me just look at the pitching probables because that's going to have an impact on my pick. Houston has Jason Alexander, AJ Blueball, and Christian Javier. Kyle Hendricks can. Astros win 2 of 3, but they lose 1.
So you're saying that the Detroit Tigers will be missing the playoffs this year off that?
Did I said earlier this podcast that I think the Tigers are going to sneak in by the skin of their teeth.
But if they lose 2 out of 3 to Boston and Houston wins 2 out of 3, they cover the gap and they're in. Houston's in as a 6.
The math isn't mathing for me right now off the top of my head. But.
Detroit has a 1-game lead over Houston,
and they own the tiebreaker.
And if they lose 2, and Houston wins 2, Houston's in.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess so. I guess I think Houston's making it then.
Houston's making it. So then Williams having Houston make it. So that will set up a Houston versus Cleveland, and then you have Boston, New York. Let's go with the AL. Well, it depends. What do you predict in the AL East? You got 2 out of 3 for the Yankees this weekend.
I think they win 2 out of 3. Yep.
And then you got Toronto.
I think Toronto sweeps.
So Toronto, by virtue, wins the AL East. Yankees are the first wild card. Now let's go to the NL. The only thing at stake in the NL, because you agree that the Brewers are going to hold on to the first spot. The Brewers play the Reds.
Yes, I think they win that series 2 out of 3, maybe even sweep them.
Okay, so then what do you have for the Mets and the Marlins?
I think the Mets win 2 out of 3 in Miami. I think they get it done. I think they make it in as the final wild card.
So there you go. So then Arizona, San Diego really doesn't matter.
Irrelevant. I think, maybe a 2 out of 3 San Diego, but Arizona's not making it.
So that's your playoff prediction. So William will have Brewers, Phillies, Dodgers, Cubs, Padres, and Mets as stands that will hold serve.
Yep.
And that wraps up another edition of the Locked In Baseball Podcast. Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, that's all I got heading into the weekend. A lot of fun baseball to watch. Can't wait. Gonna get this thing up as soon as I can for people's ears to listen to it.
Yeah, I may blur their ears out with the but
he's emoting.
I'm not emoting right now.
No, but you emoted with the
Oh, I'm not doing the Shohei Ohtani.
Ohtani celebration, Dodgers celebration. Yankees do this.
You gotta check Instagram. I sent you a clip of the Dodgers emotes all season long. Like there's a compilation on.
Oh, so people are getting onto the trend now. We called it out back in June.
Haters gonna hate, but
all right.
That wraps up the edition of the Locked In Baseball Podcast. Podcasts are going to come hot and heavy next week. We might have 4 podcasts or 5 podcasts by the end of next week. So I got to go get some sleep. Get ready. A lot of things going on. So
it's go time for the players and for us in this podcast. Luis, thanks as always. This was a fun one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoy the baseball this weekend and just the crazy sports weekend that we have in general. But we'll catch you guys on Sunday evening for the next episode, wrapping up the regular season. Until then, catch you guys next time. Peace out.